I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at the IfIRuledTO event at the Sheridan Center in downtown Toronto. I'm here with Matthew and Malik. What has been the best part for you guys being here today?
Like volunteering and like helping like all the youth and like everybody who needs help. And, like I like helping people.
Awesome.
Yeah, same.
And how did you two hear about the event and get involved with the organization?
My dad works with the place.
Oh, okay. So he forced you into it, or?
Well, no, not really, but I just wanted to come to help out.
Malik told me about it, and then he started like telling me about his dad, and then we all talked, and he brought us here. Like we all came together and we came to volunteer.
Awesome. And there's been so many great speakers and musicians here today. Has there been anything or anyone in particular who's really inspired each of you?
There was one guy, but I forgot his name. He was talking about how when he was younger, he found out that he was gay, and even though he was like, he didn't like lose focus on what his dreams were, and he pursued them, and his dreams came true.
Yeah, and I heard a girl speaking, and I forgot her name, but I liked her speech or poem that she said.
And what are your goals for the future?
Me, I just want to, after high school, I want to be an apprentice, and I want to work in a trade.
Awesome.
Do good in school. That's it. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, and best of luck with all of your upcoming initiatives.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats in downtown Toronto. Wardrobe.
Why are you here? Why is this important to you?
I mean, you know, I actually had said this in the drop that I did for this. The fact that, you know, we all relate to these communities. I know I came from modest beginnings. I've lived in pretty much every neighborhood. Jane and Finch could probably, you know, Jane and Finch would claim me. You know, that's really where I'm from. But I lived in Rexdale, I lived in Malvern, and you know, just understanding what those communities are, and they ultimately raised me, gave me the confidence to go out here and to, you know, pursue my goals, and now to be able to have the opportunity to, you know, to be out on a like worldly exposure, sorry, a global exposure. But this is where I started from. This is my roots. So to have the opportunity to connect with the youth and us be able to just talk and share our experiences and for them to see that whatever their aspirations are, that they're tangible. You know, everyone here represents that, you know, and I think, you know, there's power in numbers. So the fact that we're all here, the energy that's here, the care that's gone into this, is a great thing to be a part of. And, you know, I want to say long overdue, but the most important thing is that, you know, it's happening now.
Can everyone answer that question?
I think for me, you know, I do a lot of youth work, and it's just a great opportunity to have young people look at people who look like them, who come from communities that they come from, and see success stories that they can identify with. And I think our being here just helps to empower them to follow, you know, the path that we've kind of set for them and actually take it, you know, so much further, because they have, you know, the social media and all that stuff that a lot of us didn't have when we were coming up, that they can follow the path that we set, but then just become trailblazers and take it to somewhere completely new. So I'm just here to share, you know, what I've done and what I've experienced, and help as many people as possible to try to have the confidence to move forward and take that road.
Well, I came from Lebanon. I'm an immigrant here, so I wasn't born and raised in Canada or in Toronto, but I live in Toronto now. And I've come a long way. My parents sacrificed a lot for me and my family, and we didn't really have much growing up. but they sacrifice everything for us to have better life here in Canada. So if I can make it here, then anybody can, and that's part of why I'm here.
And I think, you know, for the reason for me, I was part of the system. I was in the children's aid when I was a kid. You know, when you lose both parents and you're on your own, you tend to feel like you know nobody's there, so you decide you want to go another path. But for me, I decided that you know I could do something different, and I could actually work with kids as of now, because they can learn from my experiences as a child growing up. Because I was going through all the struggles. I was homeless and all that stuff, so I went through all that stuff. So I learned a lot of different things with that. So I'm able to help kids and you know steer them in a different direction.
Well, I'm here definitely to be a part of the conversation. I was raised in what was called Metro Housing before it became Toronto Housing Authority for 18 years of my life. My mother worked at General Motors and raised 9 children and paid rent, market rent as she would call it. But aside from that, I feel that we're able to speak to one another on social media, but sometimes celebrities and artists are untouchable and unreachable. And so to be able to actually be here to connect physically, it's a big deal. And you know, I think that we need to take time to listen. Oftentimes these summits, it's really about us telling them how you can make it, follow this path and that path. And I think there's a lot to be said in what these youth have to say and what they're actually learning out there and be able to be our teachers. So I'm here actually to learn as well as to teach.
I think this youth summit is one of the best things that has happened within TCH. I've been living in the Falstaff community for a good portion of my life, and to see, I mean, I personally feel that this event has been long overdue, but I'm happy that it's here now. I'm happy that I'm a part of the committee. I'm happy that I was able to assist in making the youth and their voices be heard.
Touching on what Julie Black said, it's really important to have these type of conversations, and IfIRuledTO Toronto is a platform to have our voices heard and really be a part of that dialogue. Today we're gathered with decision makers, community members, young people, and it's really about listening to those voices and trying to make concrete actions in order to solve some of those issues that concern us young people.
Hey folks, my name is Jada Man. This summit is very imperative, very important, because the youth, I mean, I'm still a youth, I hope so, but you know, I'm active in the, what we call the streets, in the neighborhoods, and the youth actually don't see any models, any, as Julie would say, you know, celebrity type figures come to them and actually show them that they care and they can make a difference with their lives, right? All they see is the neighborhoods, and you know, they're stuck within the walls of their neighborhood. So this allows them to go outside of the neighborhoods, get exposed to even being downtown for the first time, and you know, interacting one-on-one with people who they look up to from the communities. Some more high-profile, we're on the rise, and you know, it's a good blend, definitely. It's needed, for sure.
My name is Latoya Rodney, and I think that it's like evident based on the numbers of youth that came up today. When you open a space like this and give them an opportunity to come, they'll come. I got involved in the gang life activities when I was younger because I didn't have things like this to go to. So when you guys give the youth an opportunity like this, they're gonna come, and that's all I have to say.
Ask me what I think. That's pretty much it. It's an opportunity to really have our voices heard and really get the message across. And I forgot to introduce myself, but my name is Shukri Duwale, and I'm one of the rising leaders within my community. And I think it's a blessing to connect with different areas within the city all under one roof. So that's a change in itself, because things like that usually don't happen.
One question, last question for me. I'm just doing the documentary for asked. One book that you would recommend, name the author, why? Everyone, please.
Okay.
All right. So one book that I'd recommend that everybody working with youth should get
is it's called Whatever It Takes. It's a book on Jeffrey Canada. Forgot the author's name, sorry about that, but that's the book that everybody needs, for sure.
The book that I would recommend is The Autobiography of Malcolm X, as told to Alex Haley. That book is very crucial, especially for the young men and women to read, because it speaks about some of the challenges that we face in our community, but it also gives you a more proactive, objective rather than reactive ways of really addressing some of those issues. And I believe Malcolm X is an icon in himself, and him and his wife, his late wife, Betty Shabazz, have done a lot of great things for the community.
Coming back to me, Latoya Rodney. I think that I'm going to recommend the Bible, because the reason why I say that is because there needs to be more spiritual leaders that are working with the youth as well. That's a part of why, that's a part of what they're missing, why they're getting involved in certain things, and that's just my opinion.
Well, she took my book. I also agree, the Bible is, I guess, a book that I would recommend to a lot of people to read. I mean, not only does it teach leaders to become, I guess, spiritual guidances, but it also enriches the leader themselves to help themselves and help others.
Wow, so many books to recommend. Definitely BIBLE. I would recommend The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Being an artist and a musician, it's so easy to. The Four Agreements basically is don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions, be impeccable with your word, and always do your best. And the one that resonates the most with me is always do your best, because your best today may not be your best tomorrow. So, oftentimes we're so critical of ourselves and critical of others, when that day I may have a flu, and that's the best that I can do for that day. So I need not beat myself up and just give all I can. And that can apply to any aspect of your life. So The Four Agreements is an easy read, something you can throw in your purse or your man purse. Carry it anywhere with you.
First and foremost, I want to make a point of the fact that this is it's a community thing, as far as not only the youth that are present, but just in general. It's like this is an us thing. As Canadians, like, I don't want this to seemingly be just about black youth. There's a lot of black youth that are present, but a lot like Carl's story of coming, his parents coming from Lebanon and then striving and achieving all that he has. I'm proud of him and proud to be able to call him my brother. So, just so it's clear, this is a community thing. What happens to the next man is essentially what happens to you. How we treat each other is crucial. And on to selecting a book. Let's see. I guess there's two. Aside from the Bible, I guess there's two I would recommend. I personally think that The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene is an excellent read. I think it really opens your mind. I think I would say 16 is probably a good age to get at that book, because it gets you into different time periods in history, and it gives a lot of great analogies that are applicable to life today, and how to conduct yourself, and understanding sort of the nature of humans, just how we are, how we interact with each other. Some things that we do subconsciously, and some things that are taught. But the other book I would recommend is Pablo Coelho, The Alchemist. I think it's a great read. Just metaphorically speaking, I think it's an amazing story that can really encourage and empower anyone that's reading it to understand that a dream first put into thought is the first step to taking action towards that dream. So those probably be my books.
I guess for me, he took for me it's the Bible. That's what I grew up on. I think if you look at it, it helps you, it helps your spirits and everything else like that, and it also helps you guide you in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I use the Bible, and that helped me in a lot of situations. So I would recommend that.